You talk about with your particular product called Nano-Amplified. What does that mean? And after we talk then about what it is, I want to talk about what it's supposed to do or what it could do or why people have used it before. We'll go into what those possible and potential effects might be.
Here's the thing about CBD. There's a big problem with it, and it's that it's difficult for your body to absorb. We call this, it's not bioavailable. Which means you can spend your money on it and you can take it, but your body isn't able to absorb or use all of it. So I tell people that's like paying for a full tank of gas, but not getting all the gas you paid for. Especially with today's gas prices, you'd be mad, right? With most CBD brands or products, the body can only absorb between 10 and 35%. So imagine only getting up to 35% of the gas you paid for in your tank. That's a problem. So what nanotechnology does, nanotechnology is used throughout science, throughout drug delivery, throughout food consumption. It's a technology that essentially shrinks things into tiny concentrated pieces or parts of the whole so that you can get the same effect on a smaller level. So said differently, it's the science of tiny things. And it's going to change a lot of things about medical science. But the way we use it with CBD is that we take the CBD particles, which are typically too large for the body to absorb. So you can see in this image that it's an illustration of the CBD particles not being able to pass through the cell walls. What that means is the particles are too large for your body to absorb. So we safely break those CBD particles down into nano-sized pieces. So this is tinier than tiny. This is smaller than microscopic. Tiny little pieces that can then all fit through your cell walls. They can all be absorbed. You can absorb, and this depends on the individual, you can absorb up to 100% that way. Almost all of it can be absorbed. So this eliminates the waste. This makes sure you're getting what you're paid for. But most importantly, it makes sure you get the results faster and they're more powerful and they do more for you. So just imagine how much longer your car could go with a full tank of gas versus up to 35% of the gas in the tank. It's called Nano-Amplified CBD or Nano-Emulsified CBD.
So putting something in our system or introducing it to us is important that then we use it, that it finds those receptors, it finds those CBD receptors in our body so that it can have whatever impact it's going to have.
Well, you said something we haven't talked about yet that we should, of the cannabinoid receptors. I remember we had a conversation, it might have been a couple years ago, and I was telling you about it, and I was using words like it helps you stay balanced and it keeps you healthy, and of course you wanted more. And when I said we are designed to consume cannabis, our body has receptors for cannabis called cannabinoid receptors. For those who don't know what that is, think of it like our body is designed with little funnels that are saying, feed me CBD. It needs that exact chemical in order for this receptor to be activated or to work. So our bodies are innately designed for this substance.
It's such an interesting thing. And the reason these are called cannabinoid receptors is because we were trying to figure out what was the cannabis plant doing to the body and why was it causing these impacts. So it's interesting that we have a receptor in our body that the scientists named after the plant.
Yes.
Not that, yes, right. And it was only after studying the impact of marijuana, THC, that they discovered CBD and then said, well, we have these receptors in our body. We're going to just name them after the plant. So we're calling these cannabinoid receptors, and there's many different ones of them, numbers 1, numbers 2, numbers 3, just like there's different cannabinoids, like you said, A, B, C, D, the alphabet, the receptors have numbers. So again, adding to the complexity of it, but I found that interesting. We didn't know we had these receptors till we studied the drug and why it had an impact on us. So we named it after the plant, which is related to, the marijuana plant or the same family. And furthermore, we then discovered that we make something to fill that receptor. So, but that happened afterwards.
That's actually how they discovered the endocannabinoid system. Because previously we thought our nervous system, our endocrine system, or our brain is what's in control. But no, the endocannabinoid system is boss of all those systems. So like we said, in a perfect world, we can make our own cannabinoids, endocannabinoids. We can make that in a healthy, perfect body. But when we are deficient, we can supplement with cannabinoids, which are the exact and only discovered chemical so far that can activate or supplement or replace the endocannabinoids that we may be deficient in.